certainly enjoy getting to know Eric Turner a little better. A lot of the national media is already saying Eric Turner is the next Ronnie Lott. Do you like comparisons like that?
It's a nice comparison because Ronnie Lott is a great football player, and I understand what they're saying, but I always try to put myself in my own category, not a Ronnie Lott or Kenny Easley, which were some of the comparisons I received at UCLA, but just Eric Turner.
I think Eric has his own style. I could think of a lot of players that you could say, well, he hits hard like Easley, or he has great range, like Easley, and he hits hard like Lott. But I think he has his own little mystique about him, and they call him E-Rock, and that's kind of what he does. He rocks, and I think he's his own person, and he's going to make his own name in this league.
All right, now you sat out the first part of the season last year with a leg, came back the first game that you played, Cincinnati. Do you recall the first tackle you made?
The first tackle I made, I'm sure probably thinking about hitting James Brooks, but I do remember the first tackle I made. It was just a little run up the middle, and I don't remember the running back who was the tackle. But a couple of tackles later, I do remember hitting James Brooks.
It bent his face mask. Now he's a teammate. Has he talked to you about that?
No, we hadn't discussed it. We hadn't discussed it at all.
I mean, it's one of the hardest licks I have tucked in my career. I mean, we hit on the sideline, you can hear the helmet crack on both ends. And they show you right now what type of guy he was at that time. He's a young guy, but at the same time, he's like a linebacker in a sense. But he had enough speed to be a deep, strong safety. And he just right now, just each year, you're seeing he's getting better each year. And if he can maintain that, and really understand what the offense is trying to do to him, I mean, he can go a long way. I mean, he's a hard hitter, and he understands the game. Once you understand the game, I mean, you really can do basically anything you want to do.
With that, I was pleased with the way we contained Elway. Thought we had a little more trouble with the running game than I thought that we would. But offensively and in the kicking game, we had some opportunities, and we just didn't get it done.
Bill, let me ask you about Mike Tomczak. Now, here's a guy 2 weeks ago, he was unemployed. Now he's playing in front of 80,000 fans, and he's going against the AFC's top defense from a year ago. How did he do? What can we look for down the line?
Longtime nemesis John Elway and his Broncos returned to Cleveland Stadium to renew a fierce NFL rivalry. This time, it wasn't against Kosar. There was a new face at quarterback for Cleveland, but there were veterans familiar with the Browns-Broncos battles.
Elway back in the pocket, standing there, throwing deep left side, man open. It is Sharp with the football at the 30, to the Browns 25, middle of the field to the 20, brought down from behind at the 14-yard line.
Elway to Shannon Sharp startled the Browns early, but the Cleveland defense rallied and forced a David Treadwell field goal attempt.
Spot is down, the kick is in the air, and David Treadwell boots it through.
Trailing 3-0, the Browns tried to establish a running game early, but the AFC's best defense clamped down. Denver responded with the same attack, but Elway was soon forced to pass, which helped Cleveland.
Elway to throw on first down, lots of time, pops it over the middle, intercepted by David Brandon at the 30, 35, 40. Brandon to midfield and tackled at the Broncos 49. And Tomczak on a draw play, hands off to Horde, not much room, but Horde keeps the legs moving inside the 40 to the 30. Leroy Horde to the 25 to the 20, to the 15 to the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Unable to get 6, the Browns settled for a Matt Stover field goal attempt that was botched badly. The blown opportunity left the Browns trailing 3-0, so Michael Dean and the defense took charge.
Elway backpedals to the 50, steps up under pressure, and John Elway throws as he is down, and that'll be intentional grounding. Michael Dean Terry had him in the grasp and then some, and under pressure, Anthony Pleasant has him, spinning him around and sacks him back at the 50-yard line.
The sack attack gave Mike Tomczak and the offense another opportunity. And the former Ohio State standout did some improvising before finding a former Michigan rival downfield.
Tomczak, fake handoff, play action throw coming up. Everybody covered. Now over the middle he goes to Leroy Horde at the 25. Horde to the 20-yard line. Tomczak in the pocket. Time over the middle. Deflected ball and intercepted.
Once again, the Browns had blown a scoring opportunity. And as they had done all day, the Browns defense stepped forward.
Here's Elway back in the pocket. 5-step drop, flushed out of the pocket, hit at the 15 and down at the 14-yard line. Under pressure, being chased and sacked from behind by Clay Matthews.
The best Denver could muster was a long Treadwell field goal for a 6-0 third-quarter lead, which they added to quickly.
Elway with a long count, back to throw at the 17-yard line. Lots of time, pocket caves in, Elway goes down. The kick is underway. Treadwell has plenty of distance, and again, Treadwell finds the mark. 3 out of 3.
At 9-0 early in the fourth quarter, the Browns' special teams made an important play.
Over his head at the 20, stays in bounds, rolls to the 2, to the 1, to the goal line, batted back to the 2-yard line, and that's where the ball will be down.
Again, the Browns needed a defensive stand. But this time, the Broncos found a way to get out of a big hole before Cleveland slowed down the Stampede and forced one more Treadwell field goal.
The kick is up toward the dog pound, and it is good.
I thought that there was, a lot of good things out there. Really, in the game, it's just we didn't capitalize on the opportunities that we had, and had we capitalized on them, we probably could have scored, more points than they did, but we didn't.
But I think we had a good football team, a good nucleus, and I think, the only thing we do now is just...
And in the home, the brave.
Before the usual assortment of Los Angeles crazies and a throng of Browns backers, two toddler quarterbacks, the Browns' Bill Cox and the Raiders' Marinovich, got the pre-game attention. But it was running and defense that dominated the game early.
The Browns are about to get their hands on the football for the first time. Gossett fumbles the snap. The Browns are all over him. They've got the football, picking it up. Stephen Moore inside the 20, down to about the 15-yard line.
Moore's recovery gave the Browns the ball, and touchdown Tommy earned the hard yards to set up the first of 4 Eric Metcalf touchdowns.
In motion, Eric Metcalf. Silcox rolling, firing. Metcalf has the football. Touchdown, Cleveland.
Much to the delight of the Browns backers, the visitors from Cleveland made some hard early statements to the Raiders.
And it is Grady from the goal line. Grady straight ahead to the 15 and cartwheeled in the air by Richard Brown. Marinovich in trouble. Sacked. Fumbles the ball. Rob Burnett has it at the 7-yard line, and the Browns are in business. Handoff Metcalf right in sweep, in trouble in the backfield. Turns it up 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They call it a touchdown.
The gritty Browns took an early 14-0 lead and let the Raiders know they were ready for the famed silver and black running game.
They stand off Marinovich, rolling and brought down in the backfield at the 31-yard line by James Jones.
The best the Raiders could muster against the sturdy Browns wall was a Jeff Jager field goal attempt that came close. And then it was time for the Clayman.
Marinovich to throw, being blitzed. He fires over the middle, intercepted at the 20-yard line. Intercepted by the Claymeister, Clay Matthews, and back to the 15.
Matt Stover's miss from 45 yards after a high snap left the score at 14-0 in the second quarter. The Raiders tried to rally, but Jager's attempt from 53 yards never made it to the line of scrimmage.
Johnson has the ball down. Jager's kick is blocked. Blocked at the line of scrimmage. Ball loose at the 46-yard line, and it rolls out of bounds in front of the Browns bench. And Rob Burnett, who had been shaken up 2 plays earlier, is the man who got credit for the block.
Despite the lead, Coach Belichick was concerned about the big strikeability of the Raider offense, and Los Angeles responded with 13 unanswered points, beginning with a Jager field goal.
Marinovich, back to throw. Swings it out left side. Pass is caught by Gold. He's going to go in for a touchdown. Good snap and hold. The kick is underway, and Jeff Jager has the Raiders 3 points closer.
But 14-13 was as close as the Raiders would get, as it was time for Eric Metcalf to fly and the defense to shine.
Bill Cox, 3-step drop, looking right, throwing right on the slant into Metcalf at the 50, and he's gone. Eric Metcalf is gone for a Cleveland Browns touchdown. All the way from the 31-yard line. How about that? Marinovich to throw. Pocket caves in. Marinovich goes down, throws the ball from his knees. That'll be called intentional grounding. Wilcox looking for Metcalf, firing slant in at the 50 to Metcalf to the 40. Eric Metcalf is away at the 30. Eric Metcalf is gone for another touchdown. Eric Metcalf is having a career day here at the L.A. Coliseum. Marinovich back to throw, being pressured and sacked back at the 47-yard line by Rob Burnett. Marinovich deep over the middle, intercepted by Vince Newsom at the 15. Newsom back to the 20, outside of the 30, to the 35, to the 40. Hurdles one Raider and is tackled at the 43-yard line.
You know, not a lot of people gave us a chance, and a lot of people were down on us and all that, but I thought the team really showed a lot of pride and toughness, hanging in there, and all week practiced hard, had a real good week of preparation, like we did last week against Miami, and they just came back and fought their ass off, and against a good football team. And I'm really, really proud of the way they played.
Great game, Bill. Not only did you coach the upset victory over the Raiders, but afterwards you got a chance to visit with a former Wesleyan University classmate of yours who stopped by to offer congratulations.
Well, it was Hollywood, and Dana Delaney of China Beach fame stopped by after the game, and I had a chance to visit with him.
But we did allow Martin to ask the question of the coach.
Here's my question, Coach Belichick. Do you think now with the new innovations in the league, such as the run-and-shoot offense, that you will be drafting for different reasons and looking for different things as the seasons go on?
Well, that was an excellent question, Martin. We have to be aware of what's going on in the league with teams running the run-and-shoot, 3 tight ends, and things like that. But basically, we try to take the biggest, strongest, fastest, best player at his position for the team.
Coach, Martin decided to have a little fun after he asked the question. We heard your answer. And here's what Martin predicted your answer would be in coach speak. Watch this.
And I would suspect that Bill would say something to the effect of, well, Martin, that's an excellent question. But quite frankly, no. We will simply be drafting to try to fill in those spots where we feel the team is weak and always looking for the youngest, quickest, and some of the larger fellas in the league. Thanks a lot, and thanks for your support.
Nobody likes a smart
Bill, I think I'm going to stop you right there. And, Jackie, we're going to let Coach get back to his preparations to slow down John Elway.
Good, because John Elway is a...
Check.
Hey, that ain't good enough, fellas. Let's go.
Wednesday nights at 10 on Fox 19 WOIO.
This is Steelers Week.
Well, that's for sure, Jim. You know, there is no sporting event in Cleveland that gets the fans fired up the way the Browns-Steelers rivalry does. And certainly this is the week. You know, this is an intense but a fun rivalry, and it goes back to the days of Jack Lambert and the Steel Curtain. And for our slightly older fans out there, way back to the days of Jim Brown and John Henry Johnson and Otto Graham versus Bobby Lane.
Well, there'll be a full house at the stadium watching the two Bills, Belichick and Cowher, and their teams do battle. You know, 80% of the people watching television in Northeast Ohio will be tuned into the game. In fact, Browns-Steelers games are usually the most watched TV program for the entire year in this area. It's a happening, and we'll hear from fans and players about the matchup.
And we'll also hear from Al Baker about the rivalry, and he gets a little help from Clay Matthews.
And, Jackie, you have part 2 of a report you did with former Brown.
29th or 30th game against Pittsburgh. It's got to be an intense game still, huh?
It is. Well, I just got a few things on my mind. You know, I got Clay Matthews Pontiac, and things are just going so good over there. I just keep thinking about it. But that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, that is another issue. Well, listen, you're probably going to get a chance to go against old number 65 and my old friend, Conchokin, with his hands locked out there. You got any particular technique you want to approach him with?
He's certainly a great player. He's been in the Pro Bowl 3 or 4 times, and probably the technique. Well, while I got you here, do you think I should order more red Pontiacs or white Pontiacs over there at Clay Matthews Pontiac?
I think we're kind of getting the Pontiacs mixed up with Pittsburgh here. Okay? Right? Now, obviously, there's got to be a difference in your approach against the Pittsburgh Steelers because Chuck's no longer there, and you're not going to see all those traps and things like we saw back in the days when we played together, huh?
Yeah, you know, some things don't change, like, well, certainly, I don't know whether to order more Bonnevilles or more Grand Ams over at Clay Matthews Pontiac.
Clay, how about if we do this? Clay, how's your dealership doing, huh?
Why would you ask me a question like that? You know, I'm looking forward to this game. This is the Steelers. It's a big rivalry.
The new opposition failed to slow down the powerful Motley. His greatest day of all time came against the Pittsburgh Steelers at the stadium. The big day helped him to win the league's individual rushing title in 1950.
I don't like the Steelers.
With Bill Belichick.
I'm Jim Mueller. Welcome to the Browns locker room and this edition of Browns Insider with Bill Belichick. Jackie Bishop is here, and Jackie, the Browns have won 2 of their last 3 games, including that big 17-9 victory over the Steelers Sunday at a jam-packed Cleveland Stadium.
And wasn't it the perfect setting? You had a little chill in the air, mud on the field, a little bit of rain, and a lot of whooping and hollering coming from the stands.
It was a lot of fun, and as you know, the intensity of the Browns-Steelers rivalry spills over to the fans, into offices, even into local radio stations.
Well, one good example is the Morning Zoo with Jeff and Flash on WMMS.
It's Sunday. That makes it very satisfying.
Hey, how about your defense? No touchdowns allowed in the last 2 games. In fact, the last 9 quarters, only 1 in the last 3 games.
Well, the defense is playing well, and their number 1 goal, of course, is to prevent points, and we've done a pretty good job of that. I think you got to give a lot of credit to the players. They're hustling, they're playing aggressively, and they're preventing the offense from making big plays.
The Pittsburgh Steelers came to Cleveland with a familiar face as their new head coach, former Browns assistant and player Bill Cowher. And the Browns had the Mac attack back for the annual stadium showdown against the Steelers, who had success early getting the ball to the NFL's leading rusher, number 29, Barry Foster. But once close to the goal line, the Browns defense stepped up.
O'Donnell, quarterback draw, and it goes nowhere.
Pittsburgh's Pro Bowl kicker Gary Anderson gave the visitors an early 3-0 lead. And with Foster carrying the load, the Steelers were soon back for another Anderson field goal, which made the score 6-0 early in the second quarter. While Pittsburgh congratulated themselves, it was now time to let the newly acquired quarterback Mike Tomczak play a little. First, Tomczak hit rookie Rico Smith, who discovered the intensity of the Browns-Steelers rivalry. Smith was ruled down by contact, and the Browns continued the assault with a Mac attack. Softened by Mac's bruising charge, the Browns tried a little dash with a pinpoint throw to the swift Eric Metcalf. Metcalf's catch set up Matt Stover's 51-yard field goal attempt, which was good, and the Browns had withstood a so-so first-half performance and trailed only 6-3 after 2 quarters.
He was trying to take it outside. I pressed him outside, got right inside of him, then I come out of it. Floyd is off the ball a little bit. Like the yard man, he's just running inside. You know what I mean? The thing is, if we're running still and your guy's ramming, then you don't know way they can pick up Floyd and pick him up with the back. I mean, you can't get inside and pick him up.
After some important offensive adjustments, the Browns were ready to charge ahead.
Outside of the 10 to the 15 to the 20. Quick races on, and Metcalf is down the near sideline. Fake handoff, Tomczak bootleg to Bavaro. Wide open at the 45 to the 50. Into Steelers territory. Tomczak turns, heads off to Metcalf. Left in sweep. This time Metcalf inside the 30 to the 27-yard line to the 26. Handoff. Mack, and he's hit just as he gets the handoff. Breaks the tackle. Gets inside the 25 to the 21-yard line. And that is Greg Lloyd, who is flat on his face and knocked out. Looks over the middle, still with time. Throws the Mack at the 5 to the 3 to the 2 to the 1-yard line. Handoff back to the goal line. Leans over the stack for a touchdown.
Now leading 10-6 in the third quarter, it was time once again for the Cleveland defense to keep the Steelers out of the end zone.
Here they come after O'Donnell, and it's the sack by Eric Turner back at the 24-yard line. Here's the kick. It has the distance, and it is good.
Leading 10-9, the Browns needed an offensive surge, and Tomczak turned to the thriller, wide receiver Michael Jackson, who caught one to keep the drive alive, and a 47-yard touchdown to drive the fans near delirious. Pittsburgh, with 10 minutes remaining, still had time to come back. But on a crucial 4th and 1 near midfield, the Browns defense stepped up once again, securing a 17-9 victory.
I'm really proud of the way the players have worked the last couple of weeks. I think we've improved as a football team through the first 5 weeks of the season. I think we got to keep working hard and continue to improve, and I think we're going to be all right.
Coach, that knockout of Greg Lloyd by Kevin Mack really seemed to spark your team.
Well, it was a hard-hitting, hard-fought game, and that particular play got the coaches, the players, and I think the fans really going in the stadium. When I looked out, I realized I was about 10 yards out on the field, and all the players were with me.
All right. Now, that was Kevin Mack's first game this season, and we're going to give you a chance to talk about how you've had to replace so many injured players when we come back.
You know what's occurred to me as of late? You have to be taught how to be a Browns fan. I mean, everybody, including me. First of all, you have to know how to dress. Well, you have to come up with some kind of shirt that says Browns on it. Some guys choose no shirt. I'm dressed right now for winter or summer. I'm kind of in between. Now, the first thing you have to know how to do is how to bark. None of this wimpy barking. No, you have to bark from your belly. Typical Browns fan, you have to know how to bark. Now, on the other hand, you have to check with little Junior and say, Junior, let me hear you bark. So now you're real happy. You can bark, Junior can bark. And then the next and most important thing is the wave. You can't anticipate the wave, waiting for it to come down to your side. You have to sit there, pay attention to the game. When the wave comes, you step, yay! And then you sit back down and you act like you knew exactly when it was your turn to go. After all, the national TV audience is watching our Browns, and we want to think we rehearsed the wave. Now, as far as when the opposing quarterback is entering into your end zone, man, the minute he asks for you to be quiet, you raise your voice and you start screaming all kinds of things. No obscenities. Of course, when our quarterback approaches our end zone and he decides to drop back and he calls a play and it comes into your end of the end zone, you take the time, you slap the guy on the other side of Junior, go, I told you we're going to run that play, and you scream at him. Now, if you're really lucky, you get to sit down here on the level with the players in the special section. You can see the guys as they walk by, you know, and you got a ticket for the seat. A ticket for this seat? Hey, do I have a ticket? Well,
that's what I thought. You're out of here.
I'm out of here?
Sorry.
I sit here every week. Everybody you can ask anybody to sit here. I know everybody in this section. I know all the people in this section. Nice view, though. Now, from up here, all you have to do is just maybe yell a little louder and pay a little better attention. No. Wow. Where you guys at?
I just get up about 7:30, shower, go get donuts, bring them to the facility and watch film.
your damn donuts.
You know, I've seen some rookies come and go, and I don't think I've seen anybody bring donuts with quite the efficiency as Tommy Vardell.
Oh, you think you got enough rules?
Oh, it's a NFL history more than a Browns history, I think. I mean, I think every rookie had to do something, and getting donuts is a pretty common thing. So.
Had to bring 12 dozen of donuts. You can ask this man right here.
Like some guys, defensive line or offensive line have 9 guys. I just had one kicker. I mean, there's a punter and a kicker.
Our rookie year, we had quite a few guys. I don't know if Pickles. We have greedy people like Kevin Mack who want a little extra of everything, so it makes it that much more expensive every week.
Some of the rookies used to put laxatives in some of the donuts.
See, when you are a veteran and you play for a number of years, you have the right to order a little extra thing.
My time is coming.
You know that.
He cuts down and takes care of me now.
He and several other rookies are responsible to bring the whole team and the coaches, if they wanted, breakfast every morning, every Saturday morning of the weekend games. And Tommy's kind of the ramrod at the head of that thing because he was the #1 pick.
He'll give us a designated time and what time he's going to pick it up. And when he does, he's usually prompt.
I mean, they get the most expensive thing on the menu, of course. You know, just the steak omelets or the steak and eggs. You know, no one orders the short stack of pancakes because then it wouldn't be worth it. So, but I have it down. I don't even need a piece of paper anymore. I'm so used to it. Let's see, steak omelets for Metcalf and Douglas and Mack. Eggs Benedict. Eggs have to be scrambled with an extra English muffin on the side for Wolfley. Let's see. I forgot what Randy gets. I'll have to check what Randy gets. He kind of switches on me sometimes. Leroy always gets 3 pancakes and 3 greasy sausage patties.
Hey, Tom. Hey. I was getting ready to say. I was getting ready to complain. I got to slam dunk my breakfast.
That was Rookie's fault. It's his fault because he's in charge of getting the forms to us so we can fill them out before we order breakfast.
What's the bad news?
It said extra on it.
That's because I got it, because I didn't know if Bernie and Todd were going to be here or not.
Is this like silverware?
The thing that is irritating is I'll bring in, you know, they want to get 2 dozen donuts, and I'll bring in the 2 dozen, and then, you know, there'll be 5 people watching film, and there'll be 5 donuts eaten. And then all the donuts are just sitting there, and I say, well, I said this to Wolf, I said, well, Wolf, you know, why should I get 2 dozen donuts if y'all are not going to eat them? And he said,
whether the donuts are eaten or not, that's not the point. The point is, Tommy, that you got to bring the donuts, and you're going to bring them as a symbol of our dominance over a rookie. That's all it is.
Poor Tommy, they sure don't make it any easier on him, do they?
And no, they don't, Jim. But I think it may be easier than officiating an NFL game.
Brett Favre, who he picked over now Cleveland starter Mike Tomczak during the final stages of training camp. Tomczak says he holds no grudge, but he did have some showed you action as he led the Browns on a 9.5-minute game-opening drive that was balanced with a run and pass and resulted in a matched-over field goal attempt.
Snap and holder good. Stover's kick is in the air, and it is perfect. It splits the uprights from 26 yards away, and the Browns are on the board first today.
As other teams have found in recent weeks, the Packers quickly discovered a tenacious and tough Browns defense.
Now he's going to run outside of the 35, pulled down by Clay Matthews. Fake draw play, chased out of the pocket, hit from behind and sacked at the 40. Hand off to Thompson, trying to get around the right side. He lunges inside the 25, fumble the football, and the Browns have it.
Uncharacteristically, the Browns did not take advantage of Mike Johnson's fumble recovery, but Green Bay was, fortunately, just as kind.
Here's a handoff to Workman. He spins into the middle and is down after a yard gain at the 25, and he coughed up the ball. It's a Cleveland Browns football.
After 2 quarters, the Browns led a defensively dominated game 3-0. The Packers, as is part of their great tradition, came charging back after the intermission to mount a gritty scoring drive that featured Favre on the run and Pro Bowler Sterling Sharp on the pass to set up a game-tying field goal.
Snap and hold are good. Jackie's kick has plenty of distance, and it is also good, and we have a tie football game.
Deadlocked at 3, Belichick, with help from injured quarterbacks Todd Philcox and Bernie Kosar, instructed Tomczak to pound away with rookie fullback Tommy Vardell in order to set up the flamboyant number 21.
Play action pass. Metcalf alone at the 20, to the 15, to the 10. Metcalf to the 5-yard line, to the 4-yard line. Mack to the right side, to the 1-yard line. End zone, touchdown, Brown.
Trailing 10-3 near the end of the 3rd quarter, the Pack did start a comeback, moving expertly downfield with Vince Workman carrying the load before the Browns defense snapped and popped.
Browns have to utilize that bend but don't break concept here. Favre to throw on 1st down from the 9. Pocket caved in. He's in trouble and down at the 12-yard line.
The defense once again kept the Packers out of the end zone as Jackie's field goal made the score 10-6 Browns. It was now time for the offense, which used a variety of relatively new Browns. Tomczak and number 26 Ron Wolfley, and then number 85 Lawyer Tillman, before going to another first-year Clevelander and an old reliable.
Tomczak backpedals, looks, fires. Pass caught by Bavaro at the 12-yard line. He wrestles for yardage to the 10-yard line. It takes 4 Packers to bring him down. Handoff back. 5-4, 3-2-1. Touchdown, Browns. A gaping hole off the right side, and Kevin Mack may have put this football game away.
Mack's second TD plus some more defensive gems gave the Browns a 3rd victory in the last 4 games.
We've had 2 years where we really, we really had to struggle, and by no means are we out of that situation, but I think we're starting to get back that type of fever where we feel we can win games, and that's what it's all about.
Bill Clay says there's a fever in the locker room, a feeling you can go out and win every game.
Well, there's nothing in sports like winning, and I do.
I tell you what, has some great heat coming next time. Good effort. Keep mixing it up. Keep them on the edges. Keep it contained. So come back on the screen. We got to read it. He looks you off all the way. Keep the hands contained. Keep the quarterback inside of you. Keep coming with the pressure. That'll make the job.
Marinovich back to throw, being pressured and sacked. Chased out of the pocket, hit from behind and sacked. Marinovich rolling and brought down in the backfield. And under pressure, being chased and sacked from behind. Pocket caved in, Elway goes down. In trouble, sacked, fumbles the ball. Hit from behind and dropped. Anthony Pleasant has it, spinning him around and sacked him. Under pressure,
It was the setting for the 4th annual Browns Backers Association reunion. Almost 3,000 hardy Browns rooters from the far reaches of the country were about to see a vintage Cardiac Kids game with a spectacular opening.
Mike Tomczak takes the handoff, play action pass, going deep for Lawyer Tillman. Got the ball at the New England 15-yard line on a rolling catch. This will be a kick against the wind. Stover's kick is up, plenty of distance, and Matt Stover threads the needle.
Matt Stover's first field goal gave the Browns an early lead. And with Tommy Vardell pounding away, the Browns were soon back for more.
Tomzak bootleg, rolling right, tries to pump, and he is hit from behind. Now throws the football, pass caught by Coleman at the New England 40, inside the 35 to the 33-yard line, and Mike Tomzak just pulled off a Houdini act. Snap and hold are good. Stover's kick underway, and Matt Stover is 2 out of 2 here in the first quarter.
Up 6-0, Tomzak started a third first-quarter scoring drive that featured the thriller Michael Jackson and Leroy Horde against the sturdy and hard-hitting Patriot defense that kept the Browns from the end zone once again. But Stover added a third three-pointer for a 9-0 Cleveland lead.
Michael Dean, they're doing James. If we ever get caught in a 4-3 loose in silver, why don't you and James just change spots? Okay? Go to the right. You go to the right, and he'll go away from the box, all right?
The defensive adjustment called by Coach Jim Bates created instant success as Michael Dean Perry recorded the sack. But the frustrated Patriots sensed they could get back in the ball game in a hurry and did so with a determination that was clearly evident.
Throws a slant in over the middle of the 10-yard line to the 5, to the 4, to the 3, to the 2. Touchdown, Patriots!
The Patriots became the first team to reach the end zone against the Browns in over a month. But that only made the Cleveland defense more intent on coming up with big plays, which safety Eric Turner did, setting up another Stover attempt.
Snap and hold are good. The kick is underway, and Matt Stover misses this one wide left.
Coach Bill Belichick could sense the surging confidence of the Patriots after the Browns missed the scoring opportunity and held a tenuous 9-7 lead that did not last long as the Patriots attacked.
He fights for more yardage and breaks it around the right side to the 50, into Browns territory, to the 40, to the 30, down to the 25-yard line. Here's Millen with a 5-step drop being blitzed. He's going to throw to the end zone. Coach is open. Touchdown, New England.
The Patriots now held the lead and had the crowd helping them. And they also had veteran punt returner Walter Stanley.
This is high, end over end. Should be a run back from the 39. Across the 40 goes Stanley, 45, 50. Into Cleveland territory at the 40, 30, 25. One man to beat. Randy Baldwin holds it down at the 10.
Baldwin's touchdown-saving tackle helped keep the score close. And the Patriots had to settle for a field goal and a 17-9 lead.
There's a fumble in the middle of the stack at the 18-yard line. The Browns claim that they have the football, and yes, Cleveland does have the football.
Once again, the Browns defense made the big play to set up a fourth Matt Stover field goal. But Cleveland still trailed 17-12 late in the game. Could the defense come up big one more time? Leave it to Captain Mike Johnson and Clay Matthews to be there in the clutch.
Millen steps up in the pocket, and down he goes at the 39-yard line. He fumbles the ball. The Browns say they have it. There's a big pileup of players in Cleveland football. The Browns on the sack as Hugh Millen strips it. Rolling right, Tomzak throws on the run. Pass is caught at the 30-yard line by tight end Mark Favaro. And Vardell up the middle inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. Tomzak, 3-step drop, looking, end zone throwing. Pass is caught for a touchdown. It's a touchdown by Seth Galbraith, and the Browns have the lead. How about that?
He's got his victory lap going.
The plays to win, and we won, and that's the bottom line, all right, is we won, all right, and that's a hell of a job defensively. I mean,
Bill, you look pretty satisfied there. Satisfied enough to give your team 2 days off earlier this week.
Well, I don't know what got into me, Jim. I must be getting soft in my old age. Reasons why we had so many...
And the Browns were reeling at 27-3, but not ready yet to throw in the towel as Tomzak threw downfield.
Not stopped by a timeout. Here's Tomzak, pumps once. Throws deep right side, Jackson open, leaping catch, end zone. It should be a touchdown for the Browns, and it is.
They just outplayed us in every phase.
Here we go, Browns!
phenomena about being a Browns fan. We see them at the Cleveland Stadium, and we know they're great, but, you know, they exist all over the country, from coast to coast, an incredible group, and they're called the Browns Backers.
I follow the New York Yankees. I follow other sports teams, but I have an affection and an obsession and a commitment to the Cleveland Browns that it can't compare to the rest of them. I don't know what it is.
This is our typical Southern California Browns backer.
Born in Ohio, diehard Cleveland Browns fan.
No cheerleaders, there's 78,000 people packed in the stadium, going nuts about football. They know how to play football.
With all the barking and stuff going on, it's sort of hard to resist it.
Browns fans come in all shapes and sizes, so there really is no typical fan.
The prototype Browns fan is fiercely loyal and eternally optimistic. And I think if they got those two qualities, they're one of us.
It means living, breathing, and dying for the Cleveland Browns.
You got to be loyal, that's for sure. I mean, because you have your ups and downs, and it's been that way all the time, and you got to really be loyal.
When most teams go on the road, they expect to battle a fierce mob of booing fans. Not so in the Browns' case. With well over 100 clubs and 40,000 backers, no matter where they go, they are never alone.
Wilcox, three-step drop, looking right, throwing right on the slant into Metcalf with the 50, and he's gone. Eric Metcalf is gone for a Cleveland Browns touchdown. All the way from the 31-yard line. How about that?
Beyond cheering for the Browns and raising money for various charities, Browns backers revel in the camaraderie.
Probably what most of the people in our organization get the biggest thrill out of is the camaraderie with people outside of Cleveland with the same background and that love for the Browns.
It's a terrific opportunity to meet Browns fans from all over the country. It's kind of like a high school reunion or a college reunion every year. It's terrific.
It's a good organization to get together and socialize with a lot of the greater Cleveland people who have relocated to California.
There's something incredible about meeting people who have nothing else in common with you except their roots. And, you know, I mean, sometimes I feel kind of like, God, I really should be investing my time in something maybe a little more important, like, you know, the environment or, you know, but the reality is that this is important, you know, everyday fun and lightheartedness and not taking yourself too seriously, even if that means taking something else a little too seriously. In some ways, it's what really, I think, does make the world keep going and stay on track.
Jackie, I've met a lot of the Browns backers over the years, and they sure are loyal not only to the team, but to the city of Cleveland as well. It's great to see. Now, one thing I don't want to see in the Astrodome on Sunday are those long bombs from Warren Moon to that galaxy of receivers he's got.
Fakes, rolls out, throws to Horde at the 25. Horde cuts inside of the 30, across the 35, and tripped up by his own man at the 42-yard line. Tomczak, the throw on 2nd and 1. Going deep for Horde, got it at the 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown Browns!
Ford's heroics gave the Browns a 10-0 halftime lead. But Pro Bowler Warren Moon still had time to shine and a bevy of offensive weapons to bring his team back.
Handoff Lorenzo White across the 20, 25, 30. White struggling for yardage to the 35-yard line.
Mixing the run and pass, Moon put his team in scoring position. But on a critical 4th down late in the 3rd quarter, The Browns attack.
Here's Moon back, looking over the middle. Throws past Cotton at the 22 and fumbles. Let's see if it's a live ball. The Browns pick it up. The Browns have the football, and it's Stevan Moore at the 50. Moore going down the far sideline. Stevan Moore with an escort into the end zone. Let's see if it counts for a touchdown. It does.
Trailing 17-0 at home, Oiler coach Jack Pardee needed a drastic change, and he created it when he inserted number 14, Cody Carlson, at quarterback.
Carlson rolling out of the pocket, stops, runs up the middle, sprinting to the left side, chased by Mike Johnson, inside the 40, hit from behind, lost the football, and it rolled out of bounds at the Cleveland 33-yard line.
Carlson's daring run set up a near-perfect play as he found the reliable Slaughter in the end zone, closing the gap to 17-10 with 10 minutes left. Coach Bill's team needed to stop the momentum swing and quiet the sold-out Dome crowd. The offense responded when Tom Zak, a first-year Brown, found another new Clevelander, tight end Mark Bavaro, not once, but twice.
Here come the Oilers on the blitz. Tom Zak reads it to Bavaro. Breaks a tackle at the 35, inside the 30, Cleveland first down.
Once again, Bavaro was the go-to receiver in this important drive. And with one swing of his log-like arm, the Browns had clinched an upset victory and thankfully answered a prayer.
I think on a scale 1 to 10, it's a 10 right now, because of our most recent victory. You look back at last week's game and we lost as a team. I think when you look at this game today, we won as a team in every area of the game.
Indeed, it was a team win, and I'd give it a 10, too. Coach, now that puts you right back in the playoff picture with 7 games to
Young
go.
players like...
You know, it occurs to me that everybody's getting into the NFL fashion, with everybody walking around with caps, sweaters, jackets. So I thought I would run through the NFL helmets according to design. But to make it easier on us all, we're going to do this by categories. Let's start with mammals. Now, how about this? I started here. The Detroit Lions look more like the house kittens. This is one of my favorites. Flipper with a roller skating helmet on, not very original. Now, these guys, they took all the trouble to move in the middle of the night, and still, when they arrived at Indianapolis, they got a horseshoe on their helmet. How about the Indianapolis Automobiles? How about these guys? The Los Angeles Rams should be the Los Angeles ? The Bears. Hey, how about the Buffalo Bills? A buffalo with a dreadlock. Now, we're going to go to the birds. Look what just dropped in. This is the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think so. Should be the Philadelphia Sparrows. Not enough wingspan. Look what just dropped in. These guys can't make up their mind whether they want to be in the baseball league or the football league. Not very intimidating. These guys should be the Tweety Birds. Now, here we are in the people. The New England Patriots, I wouldn't vote for this guy. Hey, Marty. Now, how about these guys? They should be in the Mammals. Supposed to be the Vikings. Looks like a horn to a bull to me. The Fluorescent Pirates, the Buccaneers. How about this guy? The Saints. Not very heavenly. Does this look like a giant to you? Come on, guys. The Washington Redskins, not. Hey, Al Davis, just win, baby. Hey, now, how about this? Natural causes. But it never rains or lightning or thunders in San Diego. Why would they have that? Hey, how about this? The conference, the Oilers. What is so intimidating about an oil well? The Steelers. You ever figured out what these little stars mean and what they have to do with steel? This is the ugliest helmet in all of football. A drop ticket. Now, how about this one? A little plain, but considering those other 27 we've just gone over, I think I'll stick with it.
Inside look, it's no small task. What does every fan of Cleveland Stadium have in common? Everyone needed a ticket to get into the stadium. On a sold-out day, that's 78,512 tickets. How do all those tickets get distributed properly? Bill Bright, Brown's ticketing director, has been in the ticketing business since the early 60s.
Thank God for computers. They've made our life so easy. When I think of the old days when we had all those pieces of cardboard in the office, I can't remember how we did it. We did it, but...
I get them right through the mail.
Jeff picked them up.
Advantage. We just bought them at the ticket window as we came in the door.
No, we got ours at the mall.
We just called and put them on the charge card, the American way to do it.
I'm a season ticket holder way back. I've been coming here ever since 1946.
There are several ways to purchase a Browns ticket: at the stadium ticket office, by phone, by mail order, at any Advantix location, or at the new automatic ticket machine in Tower City. There weren't always so many options.
We had racks that had 780,000 pieces of cardboard in them at the beginning of the year. Our season tickets were pulled from the racks, and it was just a huge task. Our filing was unbelievable.
I recall vividly being at the office late at night, being the last one to leave, and I had the first line through the switchboard patched into my office, and people would call up and inquire how they can get season tickets. When I would identify myself, they didn't believe that it was me talking, so then I took on a different tack, and I said, I'll tell you what, you come on down here, and Art Modell will take you out and show you seats for you to select from. And he will? Yes, he will. I promise you he will, not knowing who I was. He'd come down, and for the early 60s, I may have gone out maybe 1,000 times over the first few years to show season ticket locations to prospective customers.
As the Browns have aimed to get better in touch with the customer, it has become apparent that convenience is very important. Thus, the ATM, or automatic ticket machine, located here in Tower City Center. The ATM is easy to use. You can pick the game, seat location, and pay for the tickets by credit card, all with the touch of the computer screen.
We have the greatest bunch of customers in the world. I've worked other events, and football customers are really fantastic. We try and service them to the best of our ability. I think with the advent of electronic ticket vending around the community and in other parts of the state, it's made it much easier for the fan to purchase a ticket. I think that adds to his enjoyment in that he doesn't have to come down and fight to get in.
So next time you find yourself at the stadium cheering on the orange and brown, remember the folks in ticketing, part of the team who get all the fans in their seats.
The pass is intercepted by Turner at the 40, back inside the 30 to the 25. Turner at the 20, the 15, the 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown Browns!
Welcome to the dog pound, Eric.
And I'm sure there's probably not anything else in the NFL like that, you know, that you can go and celebrate with those type of fans and people that are really into what you've done. That's one of the best feelings, you know, about playing football and coming out on Sundays is hearing the crowd and hearing their excitement. You know, you come out of the visiting tunnels and you hear boos, a couple yays, but, you know, when you're at home, you feel really at ease.
Feel good just because everyone in there you know is on your side, and no matter what, if things are going bad or good, when they're yelling, they're going to be yelling for you, and you're under a spotlight, and everyone's watching you, and you have to go out there and perform and do your best because you want to go out there and participate and do all the things that you can do to make yourself feel good and the fans. A lot of times, I think, more so when we're backed up in our own territory and we happen to be in the end of the dog pound. I think when you walk out there, they're always yelling, they're yelling your name, they're giving you thumbs up and doing those things that they kind of get you even more pumped. And you want to just go out there and play hard and not let those people down.
Here's a draw play to Metcalf. You lose one Steeler outside to the 10 to the 15 to the 20. Foot races on, and Metcalf is down the near sideline. It's intercepted by Mike Johnson. He's at the 50. Mike Johnson at the 40. The Chargers 30. Mike Johnson to the 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown!
It puts a charge in you. I mean, an extra emotion when you're playing at home. There's an extra little fire, electricity flowing through your body. It really does get you primed and ready to play from the start. You know, you're in the locker room and you can't really hear anything, and as you walk out, you start to hear the closer you get to the field, you hear the crowd, you hear what's happening outside. And by the time you get to the opening, it builds, and there's just, when the fans see the brown jerseys, they ignite, and, you know, there's nothing like it. The fans are probably as loud as any outdoor stadium can be. If you take these fans and put them in a dome, they probably tear the place down just with the noise level. I mean, they really, they get as loud as I've heard in any dome, and that's tough to do in an outdoor stadium.